Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. I like my countdown music. It just sounds so mellow. And Troy actually picked it out from somewhere. I have no idea where I got it from. Speaking of Troy, let me present to you my co-host for tonight, that guy at the end of the bar, the love of my life, Troy Pacelli. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I'm doing well. I'm only sipping on a diet grapefruit soda because it's not Friday, but tomorrow I will drink a little bit more adult beverage.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to decide if I want to do Kahlua and cream, because I'm not sure if we still have cream, or I will do my, what were we calling it? It was the pineapple rum.
Netter's Nectar?
Yeah, Netter's Nectar, which is, it's the pineapple juice and coconut rum.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's not good eats, it's good drinks.
Good drinks.
It's good drinks.
I can't say how to drink because that one's already taken.
Yeah. Before we introduce our lovely guests, let me say hello to the chat. First up was FKHC 2005. I'm the first. He was here at 11:52 a.m. Yeah, that was early. And then, of course, the lovely Lady Miss with our hearts and flowers. Thank you, sweetie. JPRPH1 saying hello to everyone. And, of course, dropping the, are they called emoticons? Or whatever.
Emojis?
Emojis. And, of course, Fletcher Williams, I Suck at Games channels, saying, can't wait. That's awesome. Curtis Selby, how you doing, sweetie? I got a tired blogger raid. Woohoo! Connie Cleary saying hello to the chat. I'm trying not to let my thing jump. There's that Netter person saying hi to everybody. And of course, Connie saying she's been a member for 1 month, saying thank you for what you do for us. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, where is... I know I saw other people's. There he is. Mark Melnikoff. Kapla. Release the Netterbots.
Yes.
Darkwood Presents. How you doing, sweetie? Indignant Desert Birds. I keep wanting to say ignorant.
Indigent?
Yeah. I don't.
They're poor.
They're poor desert birds. Indignant Desert Birds. How you doing, sweetie? Okay, I think I saw another one come in. In fact, I know I did. There he is. Big Al Presents. How you doing, sweetie? He says, have a great stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Well, I certainly am. Tomorrow is Friday, last day of the week. I got the big talk with the director of our department over which she set up this one-on-one back in like March, and she set it up for like July or something, June or July, and then she changed it to, I think it was June, so she changed it to July, then she changed it to August, then she changed it to September, then she changed it to October, then to November, then to December, but it was supposed to be tomorrow, but she changed it yesterday to today. It's like, okay, we finally had it. And all it was like kind of how you doing, touch basey type of thing. Is there anything that's, are your needs being met at work and all this sort of thing? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, do we need all these meetings?
Exactly. Hello, Darth Plato. How you doing, sweetie? Deleted Scenes giving his salute. That's like, yeah, I'm just glad to have that one meeting over. Did I say hi to Darkwood Presents? If I didn't, hello, Darkwood Presents. Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody.
You shouldn't miss Geek Flag with Nate Knows.
Nate, thank you, sweetie, for a $2 super chat. Bonjour, Netters of the YouTube.
Yes.
Bonjour, comment ça va? And now I am at the bottom. Okay, that is everybody. Thank you all for being here tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about a brand new channel that one of my previous guests has started with his lovely wife. And I'm going to be bringing them in just a second. But first, I want to point out that at the very top of the chat,
Yes.
there is a link to that new channel. And I'm hoping that y'all will show the love and click on that link.
A couple of you have already. I saw that since we went live.
But click on that link, show the love, give a sub. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, and it means a lot to, the content creator. So show the love, peeps. So first up, I want to bring in Fletcher Williams, formerly of I Suck at Games.
Oh no, formerly?
Why, do you still suck at games?
I still do suck at games. Did you guys hear something that I didn't?
Well, we're talking about your new channel tonight. So that was your former one. Yeah. And of course, it's a lovely wife, Ursula. How you doing, sweetie?
Hi, I love you calling me lovely. I can hear that all day.
Lovely.
That's so
nice. Just look at that avatar.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for being here. And Ursula, you've never been on my channel before, so welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's like my chat peeps are so wonderful. They always show the love. So I know you're going to feel very welcomed by them.
I thought for sure you were going to say something like, this is your first time on the channel, so be well behaved. And I was going to point out, the wives are here to keep the husbands in line.
I think that was implied.
Good point.
That's what I heard.
$2 super sticker. Let me see. It is the
Thank you, Lady Miss.
the fun.
It's a loving Sheba.
But it's a cute little fox. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that.
That is adorable.
Yep. I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody.
326.
Yep. One thing I do
and
like
growing
is when you do a super chat or a super sticker or anything like that in StreamYard, it stars them and puts them into like another tab so you don't miss any, which I think is awesome.
Right.
Oh, neat.
Okay, so you have a brand new channel.
Yes.
It is Indignant Desert Birds.
There, you got it. Good.
There you go.
That's a mouthful. We're impressed.
Yes.
Tell us about this channel. It sounds exciting. I always love new channels.
Yay. All right. Can I start?
You can just go right ahead.
All right. So
it's between you, really.
So our name comes from a very famous poem by William Butler Yeats called The Second Coming. And it's a beautiful poem. And if anyone wants to hear it, I will read. I'm happy to do so.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I saw it when I went to the channel. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll read it. So it's The Second Coming. It's written in the 1920s by a very famous English poet, Yeats. He says, turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it, real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born.
Wow.
That's my version of being a nerd. And what he's getting at, I don't know Batman all that well, or Superman, but I know this poem. And honestly, what's so beautiful about it is that he has this very apocalyptic vision of what the current state of affairs is. That, the best line in the poem, I think, is, the the drowning of innocence, the idea that, you know, there's nothing pure and hopeful. There's only people who do bad things, and then the ones who actually have a good heart don't do anything. You know, they lack all conviction, and things will only get worse. But he kind of has an idea that maybe there'll be hope somewhere. And so there's a part where there's the indignant desert birds kind of looking out and watching this, and that's kind of what our channel is about. Our commenting on the state of the world with a hopeful kind of spirit, and hopefully moving people to take action, do good things.
That's an
beautiful.
incredible imagery, and I mean, think about it. That was just slightly over 100 years ago, and it could apply to the world around us right now.
Doesn't it?
Much as it did back
Yes.
And real quick, I want to thank Curtis Selby for the $2 super chat. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much,
you, my
sweetie,
friend.
for that.
then. And isn't that what so much, you know, you have a masterpiece when it applies to today just as much as it did back then? That's what we call timeless.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that there is somebody in this world who would look at this poem and go, "Oh, I could rewrite this for the modern audience."
Exactly. Let me change it to Ebonics.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
Is there
meant
any
to be
gendered
classic.
terms in here? Let's
No,
change the
it's gendered.
genders.
It's too gendered. Yeah. You're so right.
No, exactly.
Yeah, don't ruin it. It's a really pretty poem.
And that's how you know what a classic is too. Like you said, it feels just as fresh as they wrote it this year as it was 100 years ago. It's really well put.
Right.
Oh, it definitely is. So I wanted to ask, what motivated you to start this new channel?
I think part of it was we kind of searched out there and we didn't have. I mean, I really don't like the terminology that the world uses, the whole people of color thing.
Oh gosh.
But
Yeah.
it's so detestable. But I guess we kind of did the whole like nerds of color, geeks of color, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And even like Catholics of color, because for some reason a lot of Americans don't understand that there's Catholics that are not white. So it was like, it's kind of like unusual, but it was like, okay. And then there's not only you not a white Catholic, but then you're also a nerd. So you're even shortening that span. And then you have people like, you know, Matt Walsh going out there and just dogging video games, anime, and things like that. They just don't understand.
People who are Catholic out there who are doing videos, they're just square, man. It's like they don't have that. They're square. They're either not believers who don't have this idea of hope that we have, you know, the second coming, that there's a chance of maybe getting out of this fix that we're in. Or maybe they have that hope, but they have nothing cool about them. They don't understand film or art. They don't really look out as a desert bird. In fact, they are more like ostriches with their heads in the sand. So we want it to be different than that.
It sounds like something that I have grown up with, and it's cringe is what it is. Back when I was young. Okay, so I've talked about, I may have even touched on it when Fletcher was on with us before. I know I've talked about it with Aged Boomer on the channel. I used to like, for example, in the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons, you know, and Aged Boomers talked about what a big Conan fan he was, and all that kind of stuff. But back then, there was the whole satanic panic, right? And you had people in the cancel culture, and a lot of them being conservative religious people, you know, saying these really ridiculous things that you, as a Catholic myself, I may not mention this much on the channel, but I grew up Italian, Catholic. I was an altar boy, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. Went to a Catholic grade school. And even I'm going, this is weird. These people that think you play Dungeons and Dragons, you're going to, you know, whatever. And I even remember my mother, she was like, yeah, I heard this was, and I'm like, Ma, this is what it is. She's like, oh, okay. And then she literally went out and bought me every book that was on sale at the time so I could start playing. I'm like, okay, Ma, slow down because you got some stuff I'm not going to use. But okay, thanks. I appreciate the support. My mom and I had a great relationship in that regard. But yeah, then you'd have like Tipper Gore with her, you know, wanting to ban music and stuff. And again, my mom, would come to me with song lyrics and stuff. I was a big Prince fan. I had
Oh,
every
may he rest in
every
peace.
album I can get my hands on, even the Black album before it was officially released. I don't even know if you guys know much about Prince before 1999, but
No,
the album, not
enlighten us.
the year, but either way. Yeah, before 1999, his songs were, I think it would be generous to call them risque. They
Oh
were
yeah.
pretty obvious. And then Little Red Corvette comes out. And that's an incredibly risque song too, but everyone thought it was about a car. So they
Right.
said, "Oh, this is okay."
Ah. Now
And
you're
then
opening my
he
eyes.
went,
I thought it was about a car too. Okay.
yeah, well, it's pretty obvious if you really listen to the lyrics, but
Okay.
yeah, it's yeah. I won't go into it. It's not important. Just take my word for it for now.
I do.
And then he went through his own religious conversion later in life.
Oh yeah.
Not the flavor of Christianity I would subscribe to, but nonetheless, I'm glad he did, and the tone of his music all changed as a result. So I've always had a real problem with that kind of negativity. In that way, it's like what is it? Be all things to all people. Scripture
Wow.
says.
Yeah.
So I even remember somebody in my adult life who witnessed me, and we were talking about it, and he's like, if that's what your thing is, you're a nerd, you're into Dungeons and Dragons, comics, whatever. You're in a community. Use that to share your faith.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true.
No.
I love
Yeah.
hearing that. That's so interesting. That's kind of what I think we're all about. You just encapsulated it because we feel that, that word Catholic, it means universal. It doesn't
Yes.
mean we have to be kind of in a weird sect over to the side, not part of the community, not part of the world, and so the idea that we would just eschew all of these interesting cultural relics and so forth because, well, we're being extra holy. That's not really our faith. We're to
Right.
be in the world, though we're not of it. And that's a real misconception. I know I was very frustrated. I think Fletcher was even more so about Matt Walsh, who's like this kind of big, kind of traditional type Catholic. I think he's kind of green and a little wet behind the ears, who says,
Yep.
didn't he say that anime is evil or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he has
I mean,
no idea.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy. Where is it written?
Yeah. And and again, it's exactly what you said, Ursula. It's that naivete, really talking about something he doesn't know anything about, and it's cringe because
Yeah,
you
totally.
make a sweeping and what is the saying? If one makes sweeping comments, they tend to look foolish in retrospect.
Yes.
And you should be
Yes.
very careful when you make.
Yes.
I would never say all Italians are a certain way. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm Italian, so I would say that.
I mean,
And
especially you're sitting there looking like the Godfather right now. I mean,
yes, exactly. And and look, and I think Fletcher and I have talked about this too. I know I've definitely talked with Paulie about it. Stereotypes, right? And how a lot of times people love to play into the stereotypes, but we all know that all people of a certain type, race, creed, color, gender, whatever, are not all the same. And when you talk that way, as if they are, you always look foolish.
yeah.
See, I just used a sweeping
Yes.
comment, but I feel confident in that.
Yes.
And Matt Walsh is talking about something he knows nothing about, and he's bound to look foolish. Is there anime that's absolutely evil? Sure there is. I'm sure there must be.
Oh yeah. Yes, there is.
But
Yeah.
but not all of it.
Right.
Right.
And he needs to be aware of that, and he needs to be aware of his audience. We've been saying this about not just Hollywood, the entire entertainment industry for a long time. You are alienating huge swaths of your potential audience.
Yes.
Completely.
And the right does it just as well as the left.
Oh yeah.
I don't even like using that kind of term because there's other dimensions to just the right and the left.
Yeah, it's the blanket term that they love to put us in, It's kind of like, not to get political, but you know how everything was like, oh, now the racist blacks and Latinos because they voted for Trump. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so we're back into the monolith.
It's a ridiculous, and I see it, and it's not even just, well, I guess everything's political these days, so I can't even say it's not political, but you hear this, these mental gymnastics that these ideologues go through. Whenever you hear a woman, for example, who's on the internet, who's married, who has a brother, who has a boyfriend, who has a father, who has a son, whatever her case is, and she's saying, hey, wait, you guys are all hating on men. Men are a good thing in our society. Oh, she has internalized misogyny.
Oh, you got the terms right. There you go.
Yeah.
That kind of the mental gymnastics you have to go through in order to come to that. No, she doesn't have internalized misogyny. She's got critical thinking skills. Something that anyone who would use the term internalized misogyny does not have and cannot understand.
Exactly.
Calling all men misogynist. They're all misogynist. Honey, do you think that I'm misogynist?
No.
That you've never known me. My mother would not call me a misogynist, Are there some women I don't like? Yeah. Most of them are politicians.
Understood.
Just saying.
Right?
Anyway.
Yeah. It's all this broad term kind of paint and brush, and I guess that's what we were feeling. We were feeling like everything was a big broad brush being painted, and we didn't hear our voices, so we decided to let our voices be heard. And I think most of the time it's because also, because I think I mentioned this before when I got here. The reason I started making videos because my wife said it would help with my ADHD and all that other stuff that she says I have, because according to my family, it doesn't exist. Neurodivergent problems are not, they don't exist in the Latin American community. So I'm just saying that, yeah, she tells me I do have them because she's had all this doctor nonsense and like blah, blah,
Should I fill her in on the joke I made when you said that? I said, yeah, she told you to start doing YouTube to get out of her hair.
Yeah.
I never asked you guys what you're sipping on. So what are you sipping on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I have a very delectable drink that is frothy and sweet with just a little hint of sweetness, and it's a bright pink. I call it pink drink, and it's from Starbucks.
Until you said pink, I was thinking root beer.
Oh, yeah. It's delicious. Like you, I have to get up early tomorrow, so nothing stronger.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
I have a Waterloo sparkling watermelon drink because I'm a caricature of my ethnicity, so I'm drinking watermelon water.
Yeah, it's like I currently am drinking.
They didn't have fried chicken water, so I'm doing the watermelon.
That
water.
Sounds gross.
I know, right?
That does sound gross, actually.
I don't know. Now it sounds
I
kind of.
No, it wears on you now. You're like, what?
Yeah,
fried chicken. I don't know. Maybe I would.
Chicken water.
Maybe I would.
All right, business idea one. Check. See, autism works sometimes.
No, those Waterloos are really good. Not to be like a sponsor announcement for them, but I don't know where we find them. But we discovered them, and they're like sodas, but without the sugar. But they have a nice, distinct flavor. So like this watermelon and grape.
Netter drinks them all the time. You'd think this was a sponsored stream the way she talks about it.
Yeah. Netter's Network brought to you by Waterloo.
Yeah. We need to
she gets the Waterloo when she can't get the off-brand. She's got the Meyer brand now, but yeah, she's had Waterloo too. So, but
they're so good.
Yeah, not a sponsored stream, but Waterloo. Any representatives of Waterloo out there want to sponsor the stream? We'd be happy.
Holler at your boy.
Holler at your boy.
Yeah, it's like I drink my sparkling water on every stream. So
So we're
wants
this
to
far
watch it.
into it, and we haven't asked the big question that we always ask with
Uh-oh.
especially with new channels. So give us the overall elevator pitch. What would you, if someone, in an elevator, you're on your way to the 20th floor or whatever, and they said, "Tell me about your channel. What's it about?"
Well, do you want to take it, or do you want?
Yeah. So our channel is about being young, hip Catholics, but fully in the world, paying attention to current events, art and culture, and quirky things that come our way, and giving a unique take on it while having fun and involving the audience very intimately in our discussion.
Yeah. What she said.
That's
We-
cheating, but okay.
No, that's
you-
the perfect comment. It's like whatever she says is what's right.
if you guys come by, like we always, like I know that almost everyone will say mention, someone who gives them a super chat or says something, but we kind of run it the way you guys are doing this. Like we talk to people. We're still small enough that we can do it. I don't know how long we can do it, but we plan to keep talking to people. If you come by, we'll say, "Oh, hi, Lady Nutter. Hi, Sir Troy."
Yeah.
And we chat with you, and we kind of incorporate what you might say in the chat into our discussion. Like we really like to make it interactive.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
like to have fun.
Yeah,
Well,
and we like to have
Troy
fun.
and
We
I
laugh a
actually
lot.
are a lord and lady because I bought some peerage land in Scotland. And
That's right.
That's what I'm talking
bought the
about.
little-
Did you really? I love that.
Yeah, we did.
I bought it for Troy and myself for our anniversary a couple years ago. So technically, we are the
How
lord
did
and
I
lady
know
of
that?
this little parcel in Scotland.
It's
Look at that.
You know what?
I called that without even knowing.
We when she got that, I thought it was the coolest thing, but it really is a novelty gift. I looked into it. I know that I think even Midnight's Edge was sponsored by them or whatever. And then there was this whole big dust up about it. I'm like, look, if you really believe that you could go to Scotland,
Right,
pitch a tent on that little parcel of land, and
and get an internet title.
I love it. I don't care. Now I want one.
Me and Troy to put those folding chairs on, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're gonna do the Prince's wave. It's like, look at the neighbors,
Right.
dear. Look at the neighbors.
We're gonna be pulled up right beside you because now I want one.
So, like, just big enough to put in two.
You can
two
see
chairs.
somebody with a Scottish bro going, looks Italian.
Well, they can't talk right now. They're letting everybody in, so forget it.
Well, yeah, you got a point
Italian,
there.
And then he'll be nudging me going, you talk. And I'll be like, what? I'm just sitting here enjoying my land.
That's true. You actually do have some
you
Scottish
can do
heritage.
it.
So
Yes, my
Wow.
grandfather's Scottish. So I'm
Impressive.
Scottish on my grandfather's side. So it's
I'm-
like,
Wow,
I got the right
really?
to be there.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
My mother was born in Lancashire, England. My grandmother was Welsh. My grandmother was Welsh. My grandfather was Scottish, and a wee bit of Irish along the way.
Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, my
You
father's
do
side,
that
I'm
so
Canadian,
well.
so go figure.
Well, the problem is because she grew up with those accents, she's like an accent sponge. So when she's around somebody that's got, especially those European accents, she picks them up so quickly, and then she has a hard time getting back into the Midwestern
I
accent.
used to do the Midwest beauty shows where I would be a volunteer for them to cut my hair and show different styles and hair colors and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We had this one group that was from Scotland. So I started off talking like this, and as the conversation was going on, my accent started coming out a little bit more and a little bit more. And all of a sudden the fellow goes, wait a minute. You weren't talking like that a minute ago. I said, well, I wasn't talking to a minute ago, now was I? And then I had to explain, my grandpa's Scottish, so of course the accent's going to come out.
We're at 3:28 now, guys.
Yep.
Yay.
So y'all know how I like round numbers. Can we add on two more?
Let's get two more. Let's get them to 3:30, right?
Yay.
You know?
Oh
So
my
for
gosh, the
those
Scottish
people
accent is so
joining
beautiful, but it's so hard to understand.
Yeah, for those
If
of you,
it's thick, it really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
for those of you just joined, the a link to Fletcher and Ursula's new channel is pinned to the top of the chat.
Yep.
Go in there and show a little love. I'm looking for at least 2 more to get that to excuse me, to 330.
I think it would be fun if we got 5 so we could get 333.
Yes,
That is a
see,
good
3 is my
number.
favorite number.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a
3
good
is my
number.
favorite number. So
Is it really?
it-
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 3 is my number.
Nice.
That's a good number.
So
I
it's
like
yeah.
8.
So if we can get that 5,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Thank you so much.
I love your idea of the elevator pitch. It's so good to think about yourself that way and to think like, if I had to say quickly, it's wonderful to do that because most times people don't think about that. I mean, you almost could do one for your whole self, right? Like, give me yourself in an elevator pitch. Like, who are you? You know, it's a good
Yeah.
thing to keep in
You
mind.
know, something to think about is, and I'm saying this to myself and Netter too, because we've been talking about doing this for a while and just haven't gotten around to it. Get some business cards made up that have a QR code on it and the URL for your channel, so that if you do find yourself out and about talking to somebody, giving your elevator pitch, you go, hey, check out my channel. Here you go. Boom.
I've also got something. I'm going to drop this in the chat. It is a thing I came across purely by accident called Scan This Shirt. It's got a QR code on a T-shirt, and you decide what it's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something else that you could do too. Just,
Oh,
hey, just
neat.
scan my shirt, and you can, go to my channel.
Wow. Very
That's
cool.
actually not a bad idea. There you
I
go.
haven't even heard
And
of that
I was only joking, but I guess it paid off. We are looking at 332 right now. If we can get one more, we would have that 333. That's not bad, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
But
you so much.
Yeah.
You did drop it. Scanmyshirt.com.
Yes.
Again, not a sponsored stream, but
But
we got to mention
But
these
give us
things
a
when
call.
they're really, really cool. And
It's-
Yeah.
it's-
welcome, Sashi. Thank
what's
you for being
funny
here.
is there's this one channel or this one place that I go to and basically go down rabbit holes. It's called 9gag.
Oh,
And I
gosh.
came
Yeah.
across it by accident. And on there they have this Scan My Shirt. Except for that one, it's actually kind of a joke. What it is if you scan the link that's on, or the QR code that's on the back of the shirt that's showing in the picture,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the gag is the person that posted it redirects it. So it's a bunch of pictures or a bunch of GIFs of Trump dancing.
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
funny.
great.
I thought for sure she was going to say Rick Astley, but okay.
No, this is Trump dancing.
Having
Yeah.
Trump dance to Rick Astley. Now that's an idea.
Yeah, like the wine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I did drop that link in the chat. And try, I'm having a contact lens problem. If you wouldn't mind taking over for a minute
Oh,
or two.
absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, well, actually, I know because I'm looking at the channel. But
Wow, yay.
so I always look at the last video somebody put up and talk about it real quick because I think that's a good slice, right? And I'm seeing Sharon Stone, and I'm guessing this is about some recent shooting her mouth off as celebrities do. Am I correct?
Oh yeah.
Indeed. Oh my gosh, Sir Troy. Like I didn't even expect to be as indignant as I was, but I was really insulted by her putting down Americans. I mean, you don't have to agree with what people did in the election. I know we can all agree to disagree, but for you to say that somehow Americans are basically adolescent, that we're stupid, that compared to other countries we just don't have the same maturity, that's an insane thing to say when you consider we have one of the best governments in the entire world. People look to us. Look at our Constitution. Even though we may be younger, we have something that others actually model themselves after. So for her to go over there and trash talk us, that was just too much. And it was just so interesting because you know, you see together how, you know, Hollywood, politics, how they do come together. So art and culture, you know, popular culture and political governance kind of come together. So we love talking about those together. So that was a great moment. You know, where
I,
she
I,
felt like she had a lot to say.
whenever and she's by far and by no means the only celebrity doing stuff like that. A lot
That's
of
true.
them are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't help but think when I hear them saying stuff like that, I immediately think of Ricky Gervais at the awards show. You know, just
Right.
shut up,
Yeah.
accept your award, because you are not in a position to
Right.
talk about anyone else. You know,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
really is true because they have this arrogant attitude that they are so superior that they know and you don't, you plebs. You know, you don't
Right.
know your history. You don't know what's going on in things now. You don't know the law. You don't. I do, because I'm an actress. You know, I've played an
I played
attorney
it.
and a
I
this and a
played an
that
attorney and an
Right.
you know, and it's
intellectual.
like,
Therefore, I am one.
Yeah.
and it is so, and they really have bought into their own hype, and that is
Right.
the
Yeah.
problem,
It totally.
because and well, I mean, and you know this from catechism, right? A little
Yeah.
humility goes a long way.
Oh my gosh.
And in
Yes.
discourse, your first, you know, probably the most intelligent defensive thing is to listen and think and
Right.
go, how right am I? Am I sure? Let me listen to what
Yeah.
they're saying,
Right.
evaluate it, because maybe I'm wrong. But there's so
Imagine.
many of these celebrities who can't even conceive of that possibility. In fact, even worse, you try to show them the evidence and they refuse to listen.
Yes.
Completely.
It's
Yeah.
true.
There is
No,
none so blind as those who will not
will
see.
not see.
Mhm.
Indeed. And you know, it's funny because they're in a little echo chamber of their own. I mean, she's so tone deaf in a time where so many people have been struggling financially to say something like, you know, something like 70% of Americans don't have passports. And haven't traveled internationally. Well, the couple of things with that. First, you know, it costs money to do that. And you're kind
Right.
of, you know, looking down on people during a time when they're just trying to get, you know, eggs on the table. Like things are
Yeah.
so expensive. People are really struggling. And you're saying, you know, you're kind of bragging, including from her own humble background, from what I understand. I mean, you were lucky you were an actress, but not everyone lucks
Right.
out that way. It's not like you did something so like, you know, found a cure for cancer. And secondly,
Let's be
as I
honest,
was telling,
she got where she is on her looks, not on her
yeah,
talent.
not even that, exactly. And as I was telling Fletcher too, you know, America is amazing. It's not like France. I've been to France, I've been to Italy, I've been to Spain. Those are great countries, but they're very
Mm-hmm.
small and they're very homogeneous. You know, the city of Houston alone has 145 languages spoken. It's not like we're some provincial boobs because we never left the country. The country is
Right.
immense. Louisiana is different than Hawaii, which is different than Kentucky, which is different than Tennessee, which is different than New York, which is different than Connecticut, which is different than Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has the kind of cultural, linguistic, and other kinds and geopolitical diversity that we have. We can go to another state and it's like going to another country. So don't make it seem like we're all like, you know, up our own backsides because we didn't leave this country. There was this English guy who actually did a video on that. He said that he also thought, oh, Americans, you know, they're so provincial, they don't travel. And then he spent a year or two, I think it was, right, Fletcher, in United States, and he
In
wrote
the
a video,
United
did it.
Right.
Yeah, and he was like, oh my gosh, no wonder you guys don't travel. First of all, your country is immense. And secondly, every single state is like a different country.
Exactly. And it's interesting that you said it that way, because so many people in other countries, especially Europe, look at the United States and actually understand it better than we do in that regard, because they
Yeah.
say exactly that. They go, you know, wow, if I go from, you know, the northernmost point of the British Isle to the southernmost, that takes like 9 hours drive. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a drive for me for across 2 states to
Yeah,
visit family.
that's
You know,
so
I
cute.
mean,
That's so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, like in 9
exactly.
hours, you go through 4 countries. We didn't leave Texas yet.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Oh
you
gosh,
could drive
Texas.
30
that's a-
hours still driving through Texas. That's one
Yeah.
state.
and what you said about people in different states, it's not just even in different states. The way our states are laid out is just arbitrary and random.
Mhm.
But other countries have realized that we have a bit of a balkanization going on in our country that we're not even addressing. I mean, a
Right.
lot of us are aware of it, but every time we have an election, we start talking about it. In California, believe it or not, is mostly red, but there's so much blue in concentrated in those cities, and the population is so great that those red voters don't get a say.
Right.
Yeah.
Peninsula
Yeah.
Malaysia is the size of Florida. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
very good point.
Yeah.
No, and
Amazing.
I feel the same way in Illinois. You know, Chicago basically runs the entire state, and they get all of the electoral votes. So our
Right.
votes never count
Right.
either.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Illinois, we figured
Exactly.
out, is, not all Democratic. There's
Mhm.
like Chicago and like 2 other major suburbs that are Democratic. The rest are Republican.
Oh,
But they
yeah.
consider us to be a
Yeah.
Democratic state. And it's like, no, not really.
Darkwoods makes a great point. I am, however, amazed that some people never leave their city. They don't understand that the U.S. is still wide open. They can't imagine being in the wilderness. Let me tell you, I had a
Yes,
conversation with someone who was pretty darn well educated, talking about overpopulation. And I'm like, if you're concerned about overpopulation, move out to the sticks. Drive west from the city for 2 hours, and you will be in
It's so
cornfields.
true.
And I said, if you've ever flown anywhere, like from the Midwest, say to California, you look at the country and you're traveling over completely open land. There's a
Yeah.
lot of open land out there.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason it's overpopulated is because you have chosen to live in high rises and, dense
Right.
traffic and cars on top of cars. You chose that.
Oh, yeah.
You
It's so
can move
true.
where
It's the
there's
same
more
people who
room.
claim that the world is overpopulated, and it's like I've flown in a plane in Africa over the Sahara Desert.
Yep.
It goes on forever. I traveled to South America, and the Amazon goes on forever, and there's not a thing in sight. Get out for a while, you'll see the world is empty. Shoot, even in Nevada or in
I was gonna
Illinois,
say,
as you
like,
say,
just
you
look at
just go.
Nevada.
Yeah,
It's like
Nevada's
Yeah.
it's literally
open.
empty.
It's like mostly empty.
Hours, yeah.
And then you got Elon talking about going to Mars, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Why not?
admittedly, he's saying that not because of overpopulation. He's saying that because if anything happens to this planet, that wipes us out, right?
Right.
We need to maybe start spreading out a little bit.
Have a
Plus, it'd
In
be
that
super
regard.
cool.
Yeah,
Just
that would
like
be
I
cool.
said, you should back up your physical media, right? If you got
There you
it on
go.
the cloud, make sure you have it on
Yeah.
physical media.
There you
That's
go.
what he's saying too. Well, just in case something goes wrong with the hard drive of Earth,
Right.
maybe we should have a backup over on Mars just to be safe. I get it.
Not a bad
never know.
And
idea.
I'd like to remind everyone that the link to Fletcher Williams and Ursula's new channel, Indignant Desert Birds, is pinned to the top of the chat.
We're looking for one more.
I'm looking for one more to be 333 because that's my favorite number.
Yes.
So
Oh,
show
yeah.
the
What
love,
an honor.
peeps.
Lady
And you know
Matters'
what?
favorite
Share
number.
out this stream. So maybe if
Yeah.
we can get some more eyes in here, we can get that 1 or 2 more subscribers. There
Amen.
you go.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping for them to get more than that, but
Well,
for
yeah,
tonight,
I
I want
mean,
333.
take it one step at a time. Welcome, Samuel Proctor. Maybe if you haven't subscribed yet, or Sin from Sid's Corner, maybe you could subscribe to Indignant Desert Birds. I wasn't on
Or
the screen,
IDB
so
for short.
IDB. Okay, there you go,
IDB
and
for
put us
short.
over the 333 mark. But so what do you guys have coming up next? Oh, wait a minute. Let me ask you this first.
Yes.
So I see the list of videos. Do you do regular live streams too?
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
what
And here's
time?
the funny part. Okay, Fletcher.
Oh,
take it
is
away.
that a funny question?
Yeah, that's the question.
Hey, don't act like I'm behind this. Okay.
No, I'm
so-
not asking.
Okay.
Oh,
so
did I start
whatever.
something? I'm sorry.
Okay, so you started something here. Okay.
Oops.
So okay. Okay, so the problem is
I'm gonna mute myself while I laugh maniacally.
Oh gosh.
this is Fletcher's
Oh,
fault. Okay,
brother,
which is
let me help you
this
out.
is
You're
the
just
wife's
getting yourself in
refrain.
trouble here.
Okay, the thing is, Fletcher, so we can't agree on the time. So we have done like a 5 a.m. show, 9 a.m. show, noon, 11 at night, 9. So we've done, but it's always Thursday. But we have to settle on one time. What is it going to be, Fletcher?
I'm gonna continue
Okay,
to mute myself as I laugh maniacally.
Okay, in fairness, I see that it looks like you've been doing live streams for about 4 months now, and
Yeah.
it's probably a good idea for you to try different times and find what
All right,
works for
good.
you.
That's-
But
that's
you
fair.
know,
Oh,
That's
thanks.
nice.
Oh, that's
very
very
nice.
nice.
It's very
very
nice.
nice.
He's trying to make us feel good by
He is
being
trying
a
to
loser.
make
So you can't pick a
I'm just
time.
being practical. I know from experience. It took a while before I figured out what was working, because it's got to work
okay.
on your end with
Right.
what your day is like and the other things you got going on, something that you can be consistent with. That's what you're ultimately working for. And then
Right.
it doesn't do you any good if most of your audience is in your time zone and then you're streaming at like 3
Yeah.
a.m, because
Right.
then nobody's
Right.
showing up, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
you want to be at the right time for your audience as well. And you might have to try different times to figure out what works. But then, if you're like, yeah, we get a pretty good audience at such and such time, and yeah, I think I could commit to that every week, then you probably do want to,
Then you
lock
have it.
yourself
like
in.
based on YouTubers that I actually get notifications for.
Right.
9 a.m. seems to be a good time for
yeah?
a 1 to 2 hour stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you want to go a little bit further into the day, like 5 o'clock, so they can listen on their way home from work for those who drive or commute.
Okay.
Now we're Central time zone, so we always say 9 Central, 10 Eastern, because people don't like to math.
Okay.
And
All right.
Good.
and
Good
our
idea.
9 o'clock came about from when we were co-hosts on another channel, and that was just the time that everything happened. So we just kind of kept the same time, and it seems to work for everybody.
Yeah.
But 7 p.m. is a good time.
Okay.
So it's like either first thing in the morning, so they can hear you while they're at work, and they can just have you on the background and listen in.
Okay.
On the way home, they can have it on, while they're driving home, if for those who commute, or, just put it on once they get off work or what have you. Or in the evening, like I said, ours is always going to be 9 o'clock on Thursdays. It's 9 o'clock on Fridays. I mean, like all of mine and Troy's are going to be 9 o'clock.
Okay. 9 o'clock.
Even like Big Al, when he does his movie rewatches, they're at 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern. I think the only early ones we have is 7:30 p.m. Central Time for Sparkle 21, and then we have 8 p.m. for Geeky Geezers on Sunday. But all the others are 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
Pretty
Okay.
consistent.
That's good.
That's
And
a
then
good
this
idea.
way, this way, after you've been doing it for a while at a consistent time, and someone comes in and says, "Oh, I didn't get the notification." Well, we're here every Thursday at whatever time. So
right.
just remember,
Exactly.
I'll be here next week at the same time.
And I'm still looking
Gotcha.
for one more subscriber to Indignant Desert Birds.
Yay.
I can have my 333.
333.
Awesome.
That's
333.
great. No, it's good. So one thing we want to do in the future, so we've been focusing on current events and also some interesting cultural events like Wicked coming out, like different kind of fun events like with Star Wars or anything happening with like media. But we really want to have some reflections on sort of broader issues, like just one show where going to be doing, I hope soon, maybe during the Christmas season, is on beauty. Like, what is art? Is art about just what's new and different, which is kind of what modernism and postmodernism says? Or is it like what the ancients thought, which is it's mimesis? It's more like trying to imitate life and make it look beautiful. And I think that tension is underlying a lot of what we have fights about now, about what's a good movie, what's a good show, what's a good painting, what's a good photograph. And the state of modern art is just so bad. I mean, like the whole idea of a banana on a canvas and like, you know, selling for a few $1 million, maybe a couple dozen $1 million or whatever. Like, where is that coming from? So we think we might do some of these reflections like on different issues. And that's one that was of interest to us. And maybe even that's the same with like Matt Walsh.
That's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. I see this really permeating our society. And look, let's face it, I'm an older guy. I've seen it all my life. I think it goes back to the 60s, but I think it's become very much more acute now. I think ever since they started this whole abstract art concept.
Right. Yeah.
And look, there are rules to art. And so even abstract art, there is a way to do it and do it well. And then there's the people that come along and go, oh, well, I could do that. No. As soon as you come along and say that, you don't even understand it. So don't even try.
Yeah.
And I see that in every area of art. We see it in cinema, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, where we talk about, you know, classic films, you know, like The Wizard of Oz, right? And then someone comes along and says, oh, I can do that. And then you get the Broadway musical Wicked. And you go, okay, that is different, but you kind of get what the whole thing's about. Yes, you did it. And then you have someone come along and make a movie and market it the way they have. And it really makes me wonder what the quality is actually going to be. I've seen too many, and I've talked about this on my channel a number of times, someone who loves the theater and loves Broadway. I used to like film adaptations of Broadway, but not so much in the past decade and a half, you know, because they don't get it. They're like, oh, I can do that. Oh, and let's put this person in and this person in who can't sing, but, you know, that's okay. They're still going to draw people. That doesn't make it.
But they're infiltrating the theater too, Sir Troy. I mean, have you seen some of the recent performances of the London, what is Shakespeare? What is it? The London...
the National Theater.
National Theater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like we were watching one of their last productions. What was that? Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the play.
Remember.
It's one of those, you know, big Shakespeare works. It had some heinous parts. And we're like, are you serious? This is Shakespeare. And all they told you was that it's directed by the first time it's directed by the woman, and it gave so much stuff. And this is the first time this performer from who knows where was doing it. I'm like, what's that got to do with Shakespeare, bro?
Because and
everything's
and
about
again,
shock value.
That is the person coming in saying, hey, I can do that. And don't tell me I can't because I'm this minority, that minority. And if you don't like what I've done, it's because you don't like this minority and that minority. And it's a way of deflecting. It's a way of having no talent, getting a position and an opportunity with no talent because of the color of your skin or your gender or whatever it is. And then when you fail because you did not actually have the talent to do it well, blaming those elements, which is ironic because if representation is so important to you, don't you want to be the best, right? You know, if you're the woman breaking into what was, oh gosh, this is a fuzzy memory because it was back in the 70s. Who was that gal with the glasses who was a really good tennis player?
Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean King. Thank you very much. You know, and she was good. She was really good, and she even had the match with the bloke, and totally decimated him. You know, it's like that's representation. That's showing what a woman could do, right? You know,
yeah.
But you know, if you're going to let's say take over a movie company, and you're going to remake and continue the legacy that a man created by destroying it, well, that kind of gives the impression that, you know, if you're a representation of women, then that's telling us that women can't do this job as well as a man.
Right.
Is that the message you want to send?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we
Right.
and again, I'm not saying that's true. I know it's not, because I
Right,
know
no.
there's women out there that can do a great job, but these women can't, right?
No,
And
yeah.
the people that they're casting because of the color of their skin maybe are not the best people for the job, you know?
Right. Right.
And yeah, you know, and
No,
I'm
sure.
taking off my glasses and I'm rubbing the bridge of my nose right now because, and I know Mark Melnikoff was in the chat. I don't know if he's still here. Oh yeah, he is. He just dropped a comment a second ago. He and I used to go to all the Star Trek conventions and do the Klingon thing and whatnot.
Oh, neat.
And there's just so many people that are on this whole bandwagon of representation. And it's like, and
Yeah.
you know, Trek was always progressive. It's like, it was progressive, but progressive and woke are not the same thing.
Yes.
When they cast
Interesting.
Avery Brooks as Captain Sisko, when they cast Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway, and I could just go on with, you know, nobody ever said boo about a black captain, a female captain. Nobody had a problem with that.
I mean, even in like the 50s, right? I mean, you had a Russian, you had, you know, you have somebody who was
Japanese,
you have
helmsman.
Uhura,
You had you had the Scotsman. You had you had a black doctor. He wasn't the main doctor, but you know, there was black. You had the interestingly, Uhura, right? You know, you could say, well, she was
kiss, right?
You could say she was the operator. That's all, right? But do you realize, if you get into the technical aspects, she was in command line. She actually could have, if something happened to Kirk and Spock, she could have gotten into the captain's seat and taken over. She was in line for captaincy. People don't realize that.
That's pretty
People
cool.
don't realize that, but you know, that's so anyway.
Well, that makes sense too, because I had heard that Martin Luther King, I heard that she wanted to leave the show and pursue other things, and that she had personally met the actress who played that role.
Yep.
With Martin Luther King Jr. And he said, please don't. Yep. What you're doing is more important than anything else you could do. Like, what you're doing is as important as what I'm doing, which is great. Yeah.
And nobody that I never even heard a story about anyone giving her a problem for being an officer as a black woman. You know, I didn't. Now, here's where people would have a problem. If you now were to remake Star Trek, the original series, and recast Kirk as a black woman.
Right.
People wouldn't have a problem with that. Because now,
they already did.
You are not being diverse. Now you've gone from being diverse to tokenizing. You're checking a checkbox.
And I'm gonna do the snap for that. Give him a snap, Fletcher.
Oh my gosh, with the snap.
What is tokenizing somebody? That's giving them the scraps off the table. You are not good enough to have your own character.
Preach.
We're going to give you representation by letting you usurp someone else's character.
Right.
Isn't that Star Trek?
That was well said, man. I haven't heard it put that way, and I think that was just it.
Mark made a great point. He said Uhura did take command of the animated series when all the men were incapacitated in Siren Song. I had forgotten that. That's right. Actually, that was a big women episode because Nurse Chapel took over the sick bay, and Maress, the Cation woman, had to take over at helm. Yep, that's and that was a couple years after the original series went off, so it was like late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, and I've seen parts of the animated series. The people say that that one was so good because it did continue like with basically the essence of it.
People don't realize the original series was written by not only a lot of the same people that wrote for the actual live action series, but some of the best science fiction writers at the time.
No kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. What's his name? Larry Niven, who wrote what is it, the Ringworld series or whatever? He wrote an episode for that. I mean, a lot of big name science fiction writers wrote. A.C. Crispin, of course, and they were good stories. The biggest difference wasn't that they brought it down for children or anything like that. What they did was they added elements that they couldn't film in live action. So you had aliens that were like plant people, that moved in ways that humans couldn't move. You had a character with digigrade legs that they couldn't film, a human in a costume like that back then. There was one that was a what would you call it? Like a colony collective. So like he looked like a human, but then like he could remove his head and his arms, and they were separate sentient beings, and nobody realized it.
Oh my God,
you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that on TV back then.
That's Octavia Butler type stuff,
Yeah, but cartoon, you could do that very, very easily. It was absolutely brilliant, which is why people had been wanting an animated series for the new Trek. Unfortunately, they took it and made it silly goofy, because that's what you do with cartoons.
Right.
Again, Matt Walsh doesn't understand why anime is valuable. Anime is as diverse a medium as any other film medium.
Totally.
You can have kids movies, family movies, adult films. You can have action films, anywhere from what would be the equivalent of G-rated on up to R-rated,
Right.
And,
definitely.
It's a medium, it's like it's a paintbrush, it's a canvas, whatever you want to be, you can create great things.
I admit I don't know anime, but Boomer, my co-pilot on Sundays and Fridays does. And he's the one who would explain to me, look, some anime is not for kids. It is, completely. It is adult dramas, adult action films, that kind of thing. And anime is not thought of as, in quotes, cartoons, the way in the West we think of cartoons.
Right.
And it's the outlier that is, oh, that's weird. That's animation, but it's R-rated, like heavy metal or something like that. Oh, that's just weird. Well, it's not weird in Japan, and what's weird is that, like, Matt Walsh doesn't bother
to know, right?
Yeah.
That's the sad part, because if he doesn't bother to know what he's covering, what other things does he not know what he's covering?
Yeah, and this is us being critical, right? Just because I agree with him on a lot of political points and so on and so forth doesn't mean I'm going to give him cover when I think he's wrong about something, and demonstrably so, and
definitely
that's what I struggle with. I hate to say it this way, but the other side, right? They will always throw away their critical thinking hat and defend their guy, no matter how bad they are.
True.
But your guy's the worst. He's absolutely bad mustache man. But our guy is a saint. And it's like, I never said our guy was a saint, but your guy ain't neither.
You ain't gonna say roses either. I guess that's the main part, because remember, like, dislike all politicians, or don't
Yeah,
trust the government. Let's bring that back. And that's kind
right.
of the point. It's like nobody's like I'm a huge Trump fan, but it's not like I think that he's he has nothing that he does no wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Oh, I am
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
very critical of Trump.
right,
I am
completely.
well, less than I was 4 years ago, but
Yeah.
because in all criticality, I've seen him change his stance on a lot of things. A lot of
Yeah.
the things I had a problem with him 4 years ago, he clearly learned some lessons. Well,
Oh yeah,
maybe almost losing your top is gonna
Yeah.
is
right.
gonna cause you to rethink some things.
Oh yeah.
So I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that alone caused him to change. And welcome to the Clue Channel. Talk about somebody who is a critical thinker. Great channel. Make sure you're following the Clue Channel. Wonderful supporter of this channel. And Clue, link up above if you'd be willing to follow Fletcher and Ursula on their new channel. And let me check, where are we at right now? We are at
332 still.
Oh, we're still at
I need
332.
one
Clue,
more.
can you give him one more subscriber?
Ding,
So we
ding,
can get
funny
to
ding.
that
because
333.
Miss Netter's
That's why
more
we've
disappointed than
gone
we are.
beyond the 10 o'clock mark, because we wanted to try to get that one
Oh,
more
thank you so much.
subscriber.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll let you
Uh,
know when we get there, and we'll still give
Yeah.
you the credit. Thank you for that.
What have you got coming up in the near future for people to be looking forward to?
Well, I have a bunch of clips that I have to put up, and also
I know exactly what you're
right?
talking
Yeah, I
Oh,
get like
jeez.
clips, and
Everybody
then
felt that
no,
one.
yeah, but
Right.
well, I think there might be a couple movies that I'm gonna check out. I do put the reviews up there now, and also we have our Birds on the Wire episode. I think it's gonna be 18 now, next Thursday, and I think we also have a few things I'm gonna be covering. I'm sure I'm gonna put a shorter video on Trump's visit to Notre Dame, and we do have some other Pope stuff that's getting misconstrued
we
on
might have.
X.
Well, we have a difference of opinion on that. We might
We
have a nice
do.
debate
Okay.
on Pope Francis, and he is a very galvanizing figure in the Catholic Church right now. Some who really love him, some who don't care for him at all, some who are just puzzled. So we might do a show just on that, like just kind of critical
Well, I'm
thinking and
definitely gonna have
cultural
to be
take on that.
I'll have to be in the chat for that one,
Oh,
because I got
please.
my opinions too. And probably sounds to me like I'm probably gonna be a little more on Ursula's side than Fletcher's. Not that I want to see any
I think you're gonna
strife
be on my
in your
exactly.
marriage.
Good. I'm taking sides right now.
You know,
Love it.
it's,
Come, Sister Troy.
South America has a different way of thinking. That's all.
No,
it is.
we'll talk about it.
That's-
And
I think
Fletcher,
critical thinking applies to religion just as much as
Yes.
politics.
absolutely.
I
we
think
agree.
it's absolutely appropriate to be critical of your leadership, even in the church. What
Yeah.
was it that Scripture said? The Bereans were more noble than the church of Thessalonica because they received the word from the apostles daily and then
Yes.
examined their scriptures to see if what
Yes.
they said was true.
Yeah.
Now, if all scripture is
Yeah.
God breathed, then God is saying that it is noble in God's mind that you listen to your leadership and you hold them accountable by looking at the scripture and saying, you know what? Maybe you're not right about this one.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. No,
I'm
yeah,
right
no,
about
for
this.
sure.
We have 333.
There we go.
Woo!
333.
It happened. It happened.
Awesome.
you.
Thank you
Well
so
done.
much.
Is
And
that someone's
we-
way of saying we want you to end the stream now? Go
Yeah,
right.
that's we're gonna keep
Go
going
in
till
there.
midnight.
All
That's
right.
so you-
11 subscribers
Yes.
tonight, just from
we really
tonight's stream.
appreciate
There
that.
you
And
go.
That's
we would just like to
amazing.
say
And
one
that
more
was
thing.
Clue Channel that put you over.
That was
So
Clue.
there
That
you
was
go.
Clue.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you so
we
much.
also every month we do sponsor some kind of charity. So the first time we had these nuns who are in Alabama, they're so cute and they pray all the time. They pray for the whole world. If you ask them for prayers, they will sort of diligently be on their knees for you. We've gotten a lot of good results from it, and they had needed help to fix up their kitchen. And now we have a woman who is in jail under this administration that's really taking seriously the idea that you can't pray at certain places.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's literally gone to jail for it. And I'm hoping Trump will pardon her, but she needed help with her finances because she was married and she has I think she has 1 or 2 little kids, and literally has no criminal history, but she, you know, was in the wrong place at the wrong time praying. And that's literally all it was under the FACE Act. So hopefully that'll get repealed, and I hope Trump will pardon her. But she got 3 years, and it's crazy because we get people literally in the inner city who knock people out and get like a slap on the wrist, and she's doing time, hard federal time, because she prayed at a place.
Ignoring due process, ignoring First Amendment rights. I mean, this is absolute injustice. Righteous indignation is what's necessary for that. I do want to make one comment, though. Since the Clue channel is the one that got you to 333, you can say that you got a clue. You can use that one.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Appreciate it.
He's here all week, folks.
I'm here. Well, especially tomorrow night. I'll be
especially
drinking
tomorrow night. Yeah. It's like, what do you guys got? Like 5 shows tomorrow?
Well, no, I just have the one, but it's going to be a busy weekend, and I'm going to be all day tomorrow and all weekend. I'm going to be doing what you're doing, editing the clips.
There you go.
Why don't we continue down for the next week?
Good point. So Friday, of course, being Last Call with Troy Pacelli. Myself and Aged Boomer are going to be taking a little bit of a nostalgic look back at the 80s. And for those of you that are old enough to remember the 80s, you're gonna enjoy revisiting those memories. Those of you that are a little younger, maybe kind of blow away some of the myths that you might believe about the 80s. It wasn't all big hair and neon. There was more to the 80s than that. So that's Friday on my channel, 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Okay.
Be there. Saturday, where are we at on Saturday, Netter? Which channel?
Saturday, we are over on my channel.
We are here on Netter's channel on Saturday.
Where we will be watching Ever After.
Ever After, yes, that's Drew Barrymore, I believe.
Yes, it is.
There's a great version. There's a great what do you call it? A modern take done well on a fairy tale. So
we'll have to join you. It sounds nice.
Yes, we will. And the nice thing about when we do our watch parties is we've got that Cosme link up at the top, so you can watch along with us. We encourage you to get your own physical media, but even if you have your own physical media, it might be advantageous to watch it on Cosme with us so that we're all synced up and we're all watching the same thing at the same time. So that's Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Are you guys Central Time Zone or are you Mountain?
Well, we move around a lot, so we're
Central at the moment.
Yeah, Central at the moment. Yeah, Central at the moment. Yes.
Like I said, it's a big state, so it can be. You're at least in two time zones there.
Goes all the way down.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Saturday. Actually, I do think right after this. Oh, do you have the forward in for deleted scenes weekend update? If not, check on that while I'm going through the list. Because usually right after this stream, deleted scenes talks about what he's doing for the weekend. He's the one that has everything going all the time on the weekend.
Yeah, he does.
Including Sunday, he usually has the unscripted. He's got the Western cinema if he and Outlaw Bill are in sync. But then 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern on my channel and AJ Boomer's channel, it's Geeky Geezers. We're going to be bringing you, again, we have a lot of gaming news. There's a lot of stuff going on in the gaming world. A lot of companies that I'm guessing are not going to be with us this time next year. We're going to be talking about them. We're talking about companies that seem insistent on destroying what's left of their business with some of the wild, insane things they're saying about, you know, their audiences. Still, some people going on ridiculous tirades. But yeah, and we'll also be talking about the weekend box offices. There's been a lot of talk about a lot of films this past week, and yeah, that is Sunday on Geeky Geezers. Monday night, what was the Monday night at the movies? 8 Central, 9 Eastern, double feature on my channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's the other one that starts a little early because you do a double feature.
Yes.
Neat.
It's, oh gosh, help me out here. It was Run All Night
Okay.
and Reindeer Games.
Okay, that's all right.
Two, I'm going to say tangentially Christmas adjacent films.
Right.
Cool.
But both action films. The first one's Liam Neeson. That was Age of Boomer's choice.
Right.
I just thought that Reindeer Games would be a good follow up to it.
Right.
I've never
That's it,
seen
yeah.
either of them, so
Oh, cool,
should be
cool,
pretty
cool.
good. Yeah, it should be pretty good. So
Yeah,
that's
I haven't
Monday.
seen those either. Sounds good.
And see, this is the great thing about, you know, our watch parties. You can watch. You need to be there with us live in order to see them because I'm streaming them live. But you know, if you don't have your own copy, it's a plan your Monday nights live. That was the idea. Remember when we were kids, Monday night at the movies, you know, and there was always, and it was of course edited for television. Ours aren't edited for television. It's just, you know, just whatever the movie is.
Yeah, and
But,
mine weren't in
yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah,
And
I just
Portuguese.
oh, you got to let me know if you need me to put up the subtitles in Spanish. I can.
No, I speak English. Not too much.
Sometimes,
But
sometimes.
yeah. It
There you
depends.
go. There you go.
It depends. You know?
Oh wait, anime question: subs or
okay.
dubs?
Oh, come on. You know the answer to that one, even without saying it.
Well, I know
it's
my
always
answer. I don't
subs.
know what you.
It's always subs. It's never dubs.
Yes.
Dubs,
Okay,
you can't trust
I
it
agree.
unless you know they're coming from South America. If they're coming from South America, then yes, dubs can be an
I
alternative.
never heard anyone say that. Interesting.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the new culture stuff, it's mostly North American things.
Yes.
Now there is some questionable things, but like older stuff, it
Uh-huh.
was trustworthy and sometimes completely different. Something completely different. You can watch like Dragon Ball.
Yes.
You know, like the Mexicans would have their own dub.
Yeah.
They would have like the Spanish would have their own take, and maybe you would get like something like a Chilean or like a you know, forget it if it's something like, you know, like very obscure, right? Like
Right.
Dominican, like a Dominican take. This is just like homemade stuff, people that would make it, and that would be hilarious. So I mean, if you ever see like dubs of like even like Clone Wars, like Dominicans or people from the Mexican Federal District. Oh my gosh, those things are hilarious. Completely different movie. Completely different movie.
Yeah, even you're right. I would have said subs too, even not knowing that much because Boomer schooled me early on because I told him that about the extent of my knowledge of anime at the time was Speed Racer and Battle of the Planets.
Oh, good things. Yeah,
But
yeah.
Battle
Ursula's
of the
not well
Planets,
versed on the anime because they didn't have that much anime in the United States.
true.
But in South America, we literally had like all the old shows. Like she's like, "How do you know that old show from the United States?" And I'm like, "Cause we would get it because I'm sure it was cheap." So it's
Yeah,
like you know, it's like, how do you know like Rawhide and all that kind of stuff? And I'm like, those were like our parents. And it's like, well, that's what we had, you know. They all have the same. Fred Flintstone has the same voice as Speed Racer, you know what I mean? So
that's
that's a different thing, but yeah.
I told him that I knew that there was a problem when as an adult looking back on Battle of the Planets, which, you know, was the American version of Gotcha Man.
Right.
When I realized that 7 Zark 7 and I forget what the name of the dog droid was. Were not characters in Gotcha Man. They were made up to fill in the blanks of a bunch of stuff that was edited out because they couldn't show people being, for example, disemboweled by the weapon the hero would throw and whatnot. And we would argue in grade school about whether or not the main villain character was male or female, only to come to find out that they were doing a little transgendery type of thing over there with the story in Japan, and the kids just didn't really.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that in Betten, But to us, it was Batalla de los Planetas.
What was it called again?
La Batalla de los Planetas.
Lavata.
The Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I just learned. I didn't know the word battle in Spanish before.
Yeah, Sashi gets it. Robotech had that whole thing where had so many.
Isn't there like 25 different versions of? Oh,
there's so many Robotech versions, and the bootleg versions, of course, are different, and the toys are different, and that kind of stuff was like but that's basically a soap opera. Anybody who watches it today,
you're getting me on anime, and that's bad because I said I wouldn't get into anime, and now everyone's trying to rope me into anime. Tuesday.
I try to get out. No. Keep pulling me back in.
I know exactly. Oh yeah, we'll talk Godfather sometime. No Sparkwood in 21 this week. We're taking a week off. So Tuesday night, 9:30. Blake 7, last episode of the season of season 1. Personally, I think the best episode of the season, Aurak, which actually is kind of a follow-up to the last episode. You could almost think of it as a two-parter, and this is the finale of the two-parter. So that is at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on my channel. And that brings us back to Thursday, Netter. What do you got going on next Thursday?
Next Thursday is a really exciting stream because it's my birthday stream.
Yes, it's birthday!
And we're going to be celebrating my getting monetized.
Yep.
So I'll give away gifts.
Yep. Nice. The gifts are for you guys.
Yes.
But you got to be here to win. So make sure you join in next week for that.
And what's weirdly interesting is that most of the ones I have are phone related.
I agree. The Clue channel says Netter is freaking awesome. She absolutely is. I agree. Let's celebrate her birthday.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Yep, I got a bunch of different things to send out to winners. So if you win one, you're not going to be eligible for a second one because I want to give everyone a chance.
And those channel members that have reached out to me, took me up on my offer, I will be getting your copies of the Star Wars Holiday Special out to you. I've just been super busy. It will be happening, I promise.
Yeah, if you knew how much time he's been putting into the Sparkwood and 21 final dossier things, oh my goodness.
You know, Netter should probably be canonized for sainthood because she hasn't killed me in my sleep. I swear, I have not been a pleasant person to live with the past couple of weeks. But
we totally get it.
That is Thursday, so we're gonna have a lot of fun on Thursday because my birthday is actually the 11th, but that's a Wednesday, so I gotta wait till the Thursday to celebrate. And I hope that all of you will be here. Bring your friends. We'll make it a party.
Absolutely.
We'll have a lot of fun with it. Right. And like I said, I'll be giving away gifts. Yep. I've got at least 6, I think. So
nice.
Yeah, so I'll be doing the Wheel of Things and giving out things.
Yep.
I love that. The Wheel of Things.
The Wheel of Things.
The Wheel of Things.
That
I
is
have
so
to
exciting.
figure out which one it is where it grabs the names. Like you put something in the chat and then it grabs people who put that word in.
Yeah, we'll have to find that one again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that is the weekend review, and I'm done. I'm done.
Well, if you're sure.
I'm sure now.
And I want to thank everyone who helped get Fletcher and Ursula's new channel up to 333 subs.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that because 3
Thank you.
Thank you.
perfect.
And of course, you all
Thank
know what
you.
I always say.
Mhm.
We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. Hi, Sashi. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room. We're enjoying each other's company. We're having a really great time. And you guys, you know you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. And you can be anywhere right now and you're here. And that's so encouraging just to see all of you in the chat and encouraging one another, not just us on the panel. And I also want to thank those who have given me super chats and super stickers today. So that was Geek Flag with Nate for $2 super chat, Lady Miss with a $2 super sticker, and Curtis Selby with a $2 super chat. Thank you all so much for that. That's just amazing. Like I said, you guys are always encouraging us. You support us in so many different ways. So thank you for all of that. And until next time, which will be tomorrow night over on Last Call with Troy Percelli, good night and God bless.